Is there a player or someone you watch even more specifically because there's things in his game maybe you would want to add to yours in the league?
Man, I think Luka. I mean, Luka's amazing and he's incredible. I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is, like, he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go, and he takes up that space, and he does a really good job of either keeping the defender behind him or keeping him to the side. So I think that's something I can certainly learn from. Like, I always kind of want to run away from the defense rather than absorbing the contact and taking up the space.
ESPN has a brand new problem, and it starts with Caitlyn Clark. Because she didn't just show up on NBC, she took over the moment she walked into Madison Square Garden. She sat beside NBA legends like she'd been doing it for years, and the entire basketball world watched her look completely at home. And here's why that matters. While the WNBA is heading into a CBA showdown that could shake the entire next season, Caitlyn Clark just proved something dangerous. She doesn't need stability to keep the spotlight. She is the spotlight. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you the exact moment on live TV that quietly exposed the real power dynamic. Not gossip, not rumors. A moment everyone saw, but only a few understood. It all starts at the desk. NBC launches Basketball Night in America live from Madison Square Garden. Bright lights, massive stage, the biggest arena in the world. Maria Taylor introduces Caitlyn like she's already part of the franchise. Carmelo Anthony is sitting right there. Reggie Miller is sitting right there. And yet, Caitlyn Clark is the headline. Not the game. Not the players on the court. Her. You could feel it instantly. This wasn't WNBA player tries TV. This was NBC building around their future star. And the first thing Caitlyn does? She doesn't ramble. She doesn't freeze. She cracks a joke. Says she looks tiny next to Melo and Reggie. Later, she even posts that she might need stilts next time. That one joke hit everywhere. It made her relatable. It made her human. And it made the clip explode online. Because the internet loves a superstar who can be self-aware in the biggest room in the building. Then Maria asks her about the Garden, and Caitlyn doesn't give a generic answer. She paints a picture, warm-ups, the buzz, the noise, the electric energy. She calls Knicks fans crazy and says she loves it. That matters because NBC clearly wants one thing. Caitlyn Clark speaking as a basketball mind, not a women's basketball mind. Just basketball. Period. Then the conversation shifts. Maria asks who she watches in the NBA. And Caitlyn fires back immediately, Luka Doncic.
Is there a player or someone you watch even more specifically because there's things in his game maybe you would want to add to yours in the league?
Man, I think Luka. I mean, Luka's amazing and he's incredible. I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is, like, he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go, and he takes up that space, and he does a really good job of either keeping the...
Not because Luka is flashy, but because Luka understands space. Caitlyn breaks it down perfectly. She says Luka isn't the fastest, he isn't the most explosive athlete, but he manipulates defenders. He moves them exactly where he wants them. He absorbs contact. He takes up space instead of avoiding it. And then Caitlyn admits something that almost no rising star ever says on live TV. She says she tends to run away from contact, and she wants to learn how to use it. That's high-level IQ. That's real. That's not PR. That's a hooper talking the language of hoopers. And here's why this matters. WNBA fans already know she can shoot. They know the logo threes. But many casual NBA fans only see the highlights. They don't understand her mind. This segment pulled back the curtain. It showed she understands the chess match of basketball. For the first time, NBA fans who never watched a WNBA game suddenly had a reason to respect her game on a deeper level. But Knight didn't stay safe, not even close. Because then Reggie Miller got asked the question everyone avoids. Who's Caitlyn Clark's NBA comparison? And Reggie said Peyton Pritchard.
Actually curious too, I know you guys have seen Caitlyn play. She's a one-of-ones, but is there like a comparison of someone either you played with or you guys watching the game right now that reminds you of the young lady to your right?
I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here. Isn't afraid of the big...
The moment Reggie said it, Caitlyn's face froze. Not angry. Not offended. JST blank. That you really picked that name? Expression. It was the most brutally honest reaction you can give without saying a single word. And that's exactly why it went viral. Fans saw what she was thinking. She didn't have to explain it. And right there, NBC got what every network dreams of. A clip that spreads itself. No context needed. Just post and watch it explode. But here's the twist. That wasn't even the biggest moment of her debut. The real headline came when Caitlyn brought up the CBA on live NBC, inside Madison Square Garden, with NBA legends sitting next to her. Caitlyn didn't dodge the question. She didn't hide behind no comment. She called it one of the biggest moments in women's sports and said she felt confident a deal would get done soon. That is massive because it shows Caitlyn understands the stakes, not just for herself, but for every player in the league. And here's what the WNBA cannot ignore. When Caitlyn Clark talks about the CBA on a national NBA broadcast, the story isn't stuck in WNBA circles anymore. It becomes mainstream. Owners feel that spotlight. Sponsors feel it. Networks feel it. Suddenly, the negotiation isn't just about numbers. It's about reputation, optics, momentum. Now let's talk about why NBC made this move. NBC's executive producer Sam Flood called Caitlyn one of the most captivating, dynamic scorers in basketball, not women's basketball. That word choice was deliberate. It's positioning. It's branding. It's NBC telling the world. She's not just part of the sport. She is the sport. And this is where the tension begins. Because if Caitlyn is being positioned as basketball star, not just the WNBA star, the league is going to lean on her harder. Marketing will lean on her harder. Schedules will lean on her harder. And players will start asking the uncomfortable question. If the league is growing because of a few stars, do the non-stars get paid the same way? Or are they told, again, to wait their turn? That's why people say players might explode. Not because they hate Caitlyn, but because a star economy creates pressure inside a locker room. It changes conversations about value. It changes conversations about fairness. It changes what a strike threat really means. And here's the scary part. Caitlyn Clark just proved she can dominate a stage outside the WNBA. That's not criticism. That's reality. If the WNBA season gets messy, she won't disappear. She stays visible. She stays relevant. She stays in control, meaning the league's biggest star becomes even bigger, while the rest of the league risks fading into silence. So the real story isn't Caitlyn did TV. It's this. NBC just launched the WNBA's biggest leverage point live on an NBA night. And Caitlyn didn't just handle the moment. She owned it. So now I'll ask you, did NBC just give the WNBA more power heading into the CBA? Or did they accidentally make Caitlyn Clark bigger than the league at the worst possible time? And if you're still watching, drop stilts in the comments.
The NBA made its triumphant return to NBC this season, and who did Universal bring in to really start it off with a bang? Who did they bring in to engage all audiences? They brought in the GOAT, also known as Michael Jordan. They teased Michael Jordan appearing up and down the bill to get people tuned in, to get people watching. Now, February 1st, they're rolling something else out. Basketball Night in America. Well, Michael Jordan, he already fulfilled his duties. He already took care of his commitments. He already reached all requirements on the contract. So who do they need to go get? Well, the next best thing, I suppose. Caitlyn Clark.